going on, guys? For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ty, and today in this video, we're going to be talking about Superman one final time before I actually see the movie. This is going to be my last video dropping on my channel before my eyes have witnessed Superman. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I just want to talk about my expectations for this movie, the journey that we've been on, and kind of just like an open rant and discussion about the film. And again, like I said, like what I expect it to be like, what I want from it, ways that I think maybe it could mess up. Just anything about this movie. I just want to talk all things Superman one last time before I have a completely different perspective, because I can't unsee a film. So once I've seen it, that's it until the end of time, until I die. Hopefully a very long time for now. But in all seriousness, yeah, as you guys can see, I already have my Superman tee on. I've been very excited for this. I actually got this at the Warner Brothers lot in Los Angeles, which is pretty cool. I went on a trip there in May, so they had a bunch of Superman stuff, so I had to buy this. And usually when I buy things before a movie, for a movie, it ends up being a disappointing film. It's just kind of random. I don't know why, but yeah, the thing is, when it comes to Superman, man, I don't even know where to start here, because again, I'm going to be rambling all over, but one thing I will say is, on my channel, I definitely made less videos about Superman than I really wanted to, but the reason that I did that is because I learned my lesson just last year from Deadpool and Wolverine. I made so many Deadpool and Wolverine videos. I was so excited for that movie, and this is another like tentpole massive film that I'm extremely excited for, like a Deadpool and Wolverine, like a Spider-Man No Way Home, like a Multiverse of Madness, just like those big event superhero films. And I feel like the thing is, sometimes when there's these big event films, and again, with the YouTube channel, I know you guys maybe can't relate if you don't have it, if I'm just constantly making videos, constantly talking and thinking about it, I almost set my expectations way too high, and I either start to like form the movie in my head already, or I'm just expecting certain things to where, basically, no matter what the outcome is, most of the time, I'm gonna inevitably be disappointed. And even though I have been talking about Superman on this channel for the past 2+ years, literally since I've started the channel, because we knew Superman's been coming for like 2.5 years now, I've sort of, paced my videos. I feel like I haven't talked about it too much or really abused it, because again, I wanted to keep my expectations pretty low. Honestly, my excitement probably peaked around like May or so. Not that I'm not excited because I'm dying to see this movie, but I'm almost just starting to bring things in, because with Deadpool and Wolverine, I feel like I was sprinting right into that film, and I basically just hit a brick wall, whereas with this movie, I'm kind of just hitting like a nice pace with my excitement, and hopefully that means that I'll have an absolute blast with this movie. But let's really dive into the details here and stop talking about just like my YouTube channel. What do I expect from this movie? What's been the journey up to this film? Well, obviously, 2.5 years ago, James Gunn was announced that, it was announced that he's going to be the CEO of DC Studios, right? A complete overhaul of DC. Basically, the DCEU is done. We're getting, a new world, a new MCU expanded universe, and that's definitely one of the largest news, or one of the biggest pieces of news that has dropped this decade, I'd say, in regards to like superhero films. I look at other pieces of news, like maybe the first rumors of the other Spider-Man coming into No Way Home. I look at Deadpool 3 potentially coming to the MCU, and also maybe Wolverine's going to be in the movie. Like those massive news stories. I look at James Gunn becoming the CEO as another massive news story, one of the biggest of the decade, because James Gunn, undeniably, is one of the greatest comic book directors of all time. I think that goes without saying. I've loved James Gunn, and I think that's the reason I'm so excited for this film, for just so many reasons, but that's definitely one of the biggest reasons. I'm a massive James Gunn fan. I also absolutely love comic book movies, of course. That's like practically what I talk about on this channel all the time. And another thing, I feel like Superman hasn't really been done justice on the big screen, at least in like the modern era. Love the Christopher Reeve, that first film, the first Christopher Reeve film. But from there, I'm not really a Man of Steel guy. I don't really love the Henry Cavill iteration, personally. Don't attack me for that. But I feel like one of the biggest superheroes is finally getting his chance to shine. And then from there, just having like a new, fresh universe, because I love the MCU, okay? But they've been kind of on the decline, and it just feels like James Gunn is putting so much emphasis on quality and just good storytelling, while also creating such an expansive, interesting world. We'll talk about all this in a second, but that's just why I'm so excited for this movie. But going back to the road, I feel like James Gunn was the perfect person to spearhead this universe. He's honestly, the only person that I could even think of off the top of my head that I would have trusted to like start a new universe, because again, he's proven he can make great films as a director, but he's clearly such a great creative, even past just the Guardians films. Like, he just, the way his brain works, I mean, he's already worked with DC. He went to DC, made one film, and it's arguably like their second or third best film that they've ever made with the Suicide Squad. So I think that kind of proves that no matter what, he just has this toolbox, this arsenal of well-crafted, skills. Like, he's a good writer, he's a good director, and I feel like now that he's pretty much getting creative freedom, because I saw that he said in an interview that, like, Warner Brothers isn't really going to be, like, interfering too much with DC Studios. It's really, like, its own studio that sure is owned by Warner Brothers, but I just remember being so excited when this was announced. Of course, he's with Peter Safran, like, as more like the business guy, but it just feels like they've really got their heads on their shoulders, and that's why I was so excited for Superman, because then when it was announced, hey, James Gunn's also going to be directing Superman, not just, because it's Superman, but it was also going to be the first film of this entire universe. That just had me so thrilled. Like, I can't even lie, and again, I'm not like a big comic book person, but when I hear the new comic book universe is going to be starting, that really excites me. I really can't help but be excited for that, especially because it might be trying to compete with the MCU for the next couple of years, or maybe decade or 2 decades. Who knows how things go, but again, even just from there, I remember that, there was the first little inklings of news about who the new Superman was going to be. Some were saying Nicholas Hoult was actually going to potentially be Superman. I actually wasn't really the biggest fan of that, even though I love Nicholas Hoult. Then I saw this picture of David Cornsweet, a guy that I've never heard of before, okay? And again, this was like early 2022, and when I saw him for the first time, I was like, oh my god, I've never seen this guy before, but like, that's Superman. So I was rooting for David Cornsweet, and I'm not trying to, like, make it like, oh, I knew I had the vision, but I'm just saying I was. Then he got announced that, like, he was cast, and I was so happy. Then I remember following that, Lex Luthor got cast as Nicholas Hoult, and I was like, oh my god, wait, I see the vision here. Like, he was just going to be Superman, maybe, but no. Instead, you get a great actor, and you put him as Lex Luthor. Kind of like the more established villain also, like, that's been around, of course. I feel like you want kind of like a bigger name in there, potentially. I just think that's so awesome. The fact that he tried out for Superman, now he's going to be there. Rachel Brosnahan, who I wasn't personally familiar with, going as Lois Lane. Loved that. I loved her look. I feel like she just looked the part. Then you've got Eddie Gathegi, a person who's been done dirty with the X-Men films. His character was just done so wrong. And now he's getting like another shot with Mr. Terrific. He looks perfect. And I just look at this cast, and I just feel like they've got such a great ensemble. I look at Skylar Gisondo. I'm not really sure how to say his name, but playing Jimmy Olsen. I feel like he just fits that role so well, because he's always like typecast as kind of like the wholesome, kind of goofy guy. And I feel like that's exactly what you want from Jimmy Olsen. Perry White, I forgot the name of the actor. But then you've got Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. You've got Hawkgirl as Belle Merced. You've got a good mix here of like the newer kind of people, like the next generation, unknown people, and also maybe a couple big names kind of sprinkled here. You've got your Nicholas Hoult, you've got like even just James Gunn directing it, I'd say, is a big name. So I like the mix of talent. But what do I want from this film, okay? Because again, like I just said, I feel like this cast, it's such a perfect blend, and everyone fits into their roles like so nicely. And again, I have not seen the movie, okay? I haven't seen the movie, don't get me wrong, but I'm just speaking before we see the film that's just what I'm really excited for. But what do I want from this movie? First of all, I want a good story. One thing I've got to say that I'm absolutely amazed about is the fact that even though I've been on top of the news for this movie, I mean, I don't think I've missed a single thing of news, I still realistically I feel like I don't even know what the movie's about. Like, I don't know what the plot of this film is. One of my biggest pet peeves is when a trailer basically just spoon feeds you the entire film, like you know what's going to happen. I feel like I don't really know like the order of events or what this movie is really going to be about, but I've seen enough to get excited, but still I have this sense of wonder at, oh my god, what's this plot going to be? Is there going to be like some espionage or some conspiracy going on with Lex Luthor? Is there going to be another Superman variant? Like, who's Ultraman? Is Supergirl going to show up? What's going on with the Daily Planet? Is Brainiac going to show up? What's that big green thing in the sky that we saw from the suit reveal originally? How does the Justice Gang play a role in this film? There's just so much. There's like the Hammer of Baravia or something. Who is that? How does that fit into the movie? I'm just so excited to see so many different things. There's Metamorpho and like his son, Baby Joey, that I saw people were joking around about. There's so many questions I have, and I think that's why I'm so excited as well, because of the fact, and this has almost been my favorite thing so far, besides some other things that I'll obviously get to in a second, because I'm just ranting here. I think that the world building The world building is just one of my favorite things in all of film. Like the genre, not the genre of film, but the medium of film. One thing that I love, because I'm just such a big sci-fi, fantasy, adventure person, even like drama films that do this well, is just good, rich world building. When I can really just be immersed in your world, there's so many interesting little tidbits and corners going on. I feel like that's what this trailer really sold me on, because I know some people are complaining, oh my god, it seems like there's too many characters in here. I didn't think so. I feel like it just makes the world feel a lot more lived in, and like it's a real superhero universe. Metropolis isn't just going to have Superman, especially if we're in the DCU. There's the Justice Gang showing up, and I like that there's all this weird stuff going on with, again, like I said, the Hammer of Bravia, Ultraman. You've got Rick Flag in here, who's in Creature Commandos. You're already pulling in another project. You've got, I don't even know, again, like the Daily Planet. There's like pocket dimensions, and there's all this other weird stuff. There was another person shooting their laser eyes in the trailer. There's potentially Supergirl's going to be showing up. There's all this stuff going on. And in one film, you're able to both make the world feel so lived in, and like there's so much going on, and so much to talk about amongst fans, while also creating a rich, direct, personal Superman story that is about Superman. It's not like, oh, hey guys, here's Superman, but really this movie's about the Justice Gang. No, they're going to be a part of the film, I'm sure. They'll probably have a couple scenes, but at the end of the day, if you're able to create such rich world building while also having a central narrative around Superman about hope and just being a good person, being the best person you could be every single day, that's what I want to see. And I think that's why I've been so excited for this. Because again, James Gunn, like I just mentioned earlier, has just had this such a big emphasis. And I like that he's saying it with his chest. He's not afraid to call out like other people, even if it's indirectly. I'm not saying that he is. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But he's saying, listen, we're not shooting films, we're not greenlighting films until we have a script. And then once we have a script, we're going to make sure that we're not rushing them. We're going to give creatives their time and make sure that their vision's fully played out. And I feel like that's what happened with Superman, because Superman finished filming so long ago. They had so much time in post-production. It's like they really took their time making this movie, not with rewrites and reshoots and all this other stuff. It feels like James Gunn had a vision. He took his time to take his vision, put it on paper. Then from there, they shot his vision. Then they edited it. Then they added CGI. Then they did all this and that, whatever. And now the movie's done. And there wasn't any speed bumps. There wasn't any obstacles. I know making a movie is very hard, though. Don't get me wrong. But all I'm saying is, it feels like this film was crafted with love. And I have not seen it yet, just to be very clear. I'm not trying to review the movie before I see it. But it just feels like this movie was made the way that James Gunn wanted it made. This film I saw was picture locked like a month ago, meaning that they sent in basically like the final submission for this film a month before it's released. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty rare. That means that Warner Brothers is happy with it, DC Studios is happy with it, and quite honestly, I'm happy with it, because as a fan, that makes me feel confident, because superhero films, especially DC, they've been rough for a while, and I know there's been all these rumblings about, oh my god, you know, DC's been so bad for so many years, it's going to affect Superman. I'm going to be honest, guys, and maybe this is just me as a fan, I don't think that the DCEU is really going to affect Superman at all. Like, maybe that's just me. I understand there's like the Snyder people, whatever, but in reality, when you just have hype for something, like there's just been this freight train of hype for Superman, the marketing's been crazy, I feel like that's enough to just make people forget the past. Because I don't think that Shazam! Fury of the Gods, or Blue Beetle, or Aquaman 2 are even in anyone's brains right now. I haven't even thought about those movies since they came out. Yes, they were bad. Yes, it was a horrific rough patch for DC. But now that we're like a year and a half removed from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which was the last film in that universe, it's kind of just one of these things where it's like, guys, who cares? Who cares? We're in a new era. Creature Commandos already came out, gave us a little taste of this new universe. I thought it was great. Was it 10 out of 10? No. Didn't need to be. Just gave us a little taste of this universe. Had good characters. It was written well. I feel like it was James Gunn just kind of, sticking his foot in the pool, just kind of feeling out the temperature. And now we've got Superman. And I just couldn't be more excited for this movie. I'm going to be real, okay? I am so much more excited for Superman than Fantastic Four. And that's pretty insane considering that I've been an MCU guy for years. It's just one of these things where, like, even though Fantastic Four looks pretty good, I just feel like something about Superman just intrigues me so much more. And maybe it's just the fact that this is a fresh start. There's no weight on the shoulders of Superman. Like, yes, there's a lot of pressure for this movie to be good and to be a box office hit, but there's no baggage, I should say. Baggage is a better word. Sure, there's the Henry Cavill Superman fans, there's all this, but in reality, when you're given the opportunity for a fresh start, that's a rare thing. That does not come around often. I bet the MCU would love the opportunity to wipe their slate clean and have a fresh start right now. But they're kind of just crawling through the mud. It feels like they're trying to repair mistakes. The multiverse, I feel like, was pretty much a mistake. Some of the films they made, like Thor: Love and Thunder and all these other bad ones, were horrible. Secret Invasion was a horrible show. You got Echo coming out and all these other horrific shows. I feel like the DCU's advantage of the MCU right now is the fact that they have a fresh start. And as a comic book fan, as a comic book movie fan, I should say, I'm just so ready for something new. And I don't care about the brand. I don't care about the name attached to it. I need something fresh. And I feel like that's what DC is about to deliver to me. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not really a Superman fan. I'm a James Gunn fan. I'm a fan of connected superhero universes. This just seems right up my alley. And I think this film is going to make me really fall in love with the character of Superman. Because I love the message of Superman about hope. And again, trying to be the best person you could be. Looking out for others. I just feel like this is the fresh start that the superhero genre needs as a medium, as a film genre. Seriously, I feel like this is so needed because there's just been so many people dogging on the comic book genre. So superhero movies haven't been the same since Endgame, all that. I feel like this is so needed right now, especially for DC, because there's so much weight on this, obviously, because Superman ends up being bad if it's a box office flop, not that it's really going to be. That could be really rough for them. But I'm even excited for Supergirl. I'm excited for Clayface and whatever. Maybe World's Finest if we get that Batman-Superman team-up film. But it's one of these things where I'm just sitting here and I just feel like all the pieces have just fallen into place. And I don't want to overhype it. And I actually haven't. I'm actually proud of myself that I haven't overhyped this movie for me. Even though I am 10 out of 10 excited. But I'm not thinking about it. I'm not like making up the movie in my mind. I'm kind of just ready to go into it with like a calm, emotional state. I'm not really jumping for joy. I'm like, you know what? Just give me what you give me. And if I'm in that theater and it's making me laugh, it's making me cry, it's making me jump for joy, then be my guest and serve me a 5-star film. But I don't want to go into it too hyped just because I got to keep my expectations low just because. Just for the principle. Because again, like last year, Deadpool and Wolverine maybe disappointed me a little bit. But that's okay. That's okay. But I feel like there's just been so much care and so much love put into this story. You could just feel it through the trailers, and the trailers, again, still haven't really shown us that much. And I'm just so excited, man. And I know that, saying it right now, I'm recording it 2 days before, but I cannot believe that at the time this video is dropping, I am seeing Superman tomorrow. And at the time of me recording this video, in less than 48 hours, I would have watched Superman. I can't wait to see him saving people. I want to see him being nice to people. I want to see him being corny. I want to see him maybe having some powerful moments. I want to see him going at it with Lex. I want to see him at his weakest, and I want to see him at his strongest. And listen, let me also just say this. I hope that you guys all have a great time with the movie. Maybe some of you won't like it, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe I won't like it. There's a good chance that I won't like it too. I'm not, I haven't seen the film. I don't know. I won't know if I liked or didn't like the film until I walk out of that theater. But I just want to say that I really hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope that you have a great time with it, because that's what this is all about, right? Half of the excitement for, half of, a movie's thrill, I guess you could say, like these big tentpole massive films, honestly is the wait up to the film. As exciting as it is to actually watch the movie, all the news for years or months in advance, it's thrilling. You're hearing little tidbits about what the story could possibly be. Who's getting cast for the film. Just anything, whether it's Deadpool and Wolverine, No Way Home, the new Avengers movies, whatever. Half the ride is the journey. But now, the journey's pretty much over, man. And that's why I want to make this. I love making videos like this. Like, right at the end of the journey, before we get to the destination. And hopefully the destination's as beautiful as we think it will be. But listen, guys, let me hear just anything about Superman down in the comments below before I wrap this up here. Whatever you've got to say. But again, I really hope that you guys enjoy the film. Maybe it'll be horrible. Maybe it'll be amazing. I haven't seen one review for it yet because the review embargo hasn't dropped yet. It drops the night of this video coming out. But listen, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't look at the reviews too closely, though, because, formulate your own opinion. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.